And we're live.
As a master bowman, have you had any expert takes on the Norway shooting?
Yeah, I mean, I watched the video, critiqued his form a bit.
Is there video? I haven't seen it.
And Master Bowman, we prefer archer extraordinaire is what I am. I mean, I've been shooting a bow and arrow for 2 weeks now. So I clearly know what I'm doing. I did see that story, but I didn't even click on it. I just saw that someone in Norway went on a shooting spree with a bow and arrow.
Yes.
What kind of bow and arrow was he using? Like a compound or just like whipping stuff through a recurve bow at people? Did anybody die?
5 people, I think.
5?
I think he killed 5 people.
I thought it was more of like a mass wounding.
No.
Oh, what? So I don't know anything about this because so a guy went on a bow spree and killed 5 people. Like
I'm just reading this for the first time.
Oh, 5.
It appears to be an act of terror. We don't know what the motivation of the perpetrator is. We have to wait for the outcome of the investigation. He killed 4 women and 1 man, aged between 50 and 70. 3 other people were seriously wounded. So that is.
Oh, he just took out the olds.
They weren't fast enough.
Hey, 50's not even remotely old. Maybe.
No, 50's a spring chicken, right?
There earlier had been worries of the man being radicalized. He also
by who? Robin Hood? What the fuck?
Complicated assessment regarding
marry men.
They called the attack gruesome. There isn't really the details here that I'm looking for, like the type of bow. In America, they immediately explained that it was.
They're like he was using a Bushmaster with a bump stock and here's where he bought it.
It's always an AR-15 or an AK-47, regardless of what it actually is.
In America, in America, they're like, check out this really cool-looking gun. Do you remember that graphic that CNN put up, and it was like memeable for a long time, where they showed the AR-15, and they're like, AR-15 shown, and then with like an asterisk, with under-barrel chainsaw attachment. And it's like, what kind of fucking coastal idiot with no gun sense was like, yeah, this'll fly. An under-barrel chain, like it's Gears of War.
The funny thing is, those exist, and I just had seen one. Like I remember when I first saw that meme, I had seen that thing like a month before, and everybody was like, "What?"
CNN.
It was. I thought it was some
USA Today.
Company. USA Today. One of who, regardless. That's hilarious to put an underbarrel chain. Some guy was like just wanting to get fired.
USA Today issues clarification after depicting a rifle with a chainsaw bayonet.
You see that? You see a guy going on a mass shooting, and then he goes like a finishing move, just like in Gears of War.
Also, like
added their own possible attachments. One's a hydrogen bomb. I'm looking at an underbarrel Velociraptor launcher.
You know what? The one that I saw on 4chan that I thought was funny was an AR-15 with infinite smaller AR-15 underbarrel attachment.
The one I'm looking at, modified AR-15 with an even smaller AR-15 under that, and the last one has a tiny chainsaw.
Oh man, does that, like, Kyle? You know so much about guns. Like, it doesn't seem like it bothers you, but you also seem to appreciate like good gun work, like John Wick. You've said is like actually realistic and like good reloads and everything. Does it take you out of it to see bad gunplay in movies, or are you like so immune, you're like, okay, well, whatever, it's Hollywood?
The only things that really actually bother me is when like they shoot a bolt action rifle like semi-automatically. They just keep pulling the trigger when you need to cycle it, or when they like don't operate the pump on a pump shotgun correctly. They're just out of sync with it. They clearly don't know what they're doing. Like, it's stuff like that, or when they're just like shooting a revolver like more than 6 or more than 8 times, depending on what it is.
What I'm sensitive to is when the audio doesn't match. Like, if they rack the slide on like a Glock or 1911 and it sounds like a shotgun because they added it in post and it's the wrong thing, it gets me in particular.
I like when they take the safety off on their Glock.
Yeah,
like, he's like, click, and it's just like, dude, I just watched you rub the side of your gun with your thumb. Like, you just massaged your pistol, and they inserted a sound effect.
Or they pull the hammer back on a semi-automatic handgun. It's like, oh, it's getting real now. It's like, well, no, it's not really. It's not really any more dangerous.